I've always been the type of person who cherished memories. Nothing lasts forever, but to me, memories last a lifetime, which is why I became interested in filmmaking in the first place. I personally found that video captured memories far better than anything else. Each time I rewatch one of my videos, it takes me back to exactly how I felt when I was there. The same goes for certain places, smells, and songs. I recently felt this rush of emotions on a trip I had just came back from. Lost memories that were buried deep in my mind and slowly fading away presented itself. And if it wasn't for this trip, I would have never realized it. Which leads me to talk about the word realization. Realizations happen every day. It could be as small as realizing a spoon is just a mini shovel, or it could be so big where it could impact your life. The type of realization I'm talking about is the one that impacts your life. This type of realization is sporadic, presenting itself at the most random times. One moment it's there, and then it's gone. It could be years before you realize something else so impactful. In my case, it took me 24 years to realize what I'm about to tell you, and I'd like to share my experience. In episode 1 of this series about my not-so-typical gap year, I went to Madrid to visit my brothers. And in episode 2, I'll be returning to a country I used to live in, and haven't set foot in years. I'll be returning to Taiwan. I didn't realize the amount of time that had passed until I landed. My dad picked me up from the airport, and it wasn't long until I came to the realization that I've been gone for a while.
Okay, so to understand this story a little better, let me share some background information. Having been in a 5-year dental program in Madrid, studying day in and day out, with COVID hitting halfway through, I knowingly lost track of time. Before I knew it, I was graduating, I became a doctor, and I had to figure out what to do for the next chapter of my life. I went ahead and applied to postdoctoral programs in the United States for the upcoming year, and while I was waiting for an acceptance, I chose to use this time off from school to visit family. I've been wanting to go to Taiwan for the longest time since I used to go every year as a child, where I would stay at my grandparents' house. But for those of you who didn't know, it has been very difficult to enter Taiwan for the past couple years due to COVID restrictions. And with the busy schedule of dental school, I haven't been back since 2018. Once I found out Taiwan finally opened their borders, I went ahead and booked a ticket to go visit family members, as well as my dad who lives in Taiwan with my 2 younger sisters and stepmom. And since it was also my dad's birthday, I wanted to celebrate it with him. Okay, now let's get back to the story.
Everything seemed to be the same old buildings and stores, but one major thing was different. The people. Who were once babies to me are now young adults, and who were once mature adults are now seniors. This hit me more when my dad took me along to revisit my grandparents' house, now completely abandoned. My 101-year-old grandma forgot who I was. I arrived to Taiwan assuming I've been up to date with everything, but boy, was I wrong. The longer I stayed, the more and more I realized each day everything was different, and I'd been out of the loop for some time. As I walked on the same old streets with my father one night, I began to recall the events that took place on each corner. The emotions started coming back to me, and I felt like I was 12 again. Seeing all this gave me a sense of gratitude for the choice I made to use this gap year to visit my loved ones. You see, as a child, I would simply go through the motions day by day, following my parents and the plan they constructed for me. Going to Taiwan was nothing special. I never had the urge to go to Taiwan until the pandemic hit, and no one was able to go anymore. If it wasn't for the pandemic and this trip, I would have never realized what this little island means to me. Everything in life has a cap, an ending, and although I've been gone for a long time, and things will never be back to how it was, one thing remains, the memories of my time spent here. Words can't describe how happy I am on how this trip turned out. I had the chance to revisit my roots, see my little sisters who are growing up way too fast, celebrate my dad's birthday, visit old friends I haven't seen in years, and met new people who, oddly enough, all happened to be back in Taiwan to visit family since the borders finally opened up. With the busy schedule and momentum of life, it's hard to put everything on hold to spare some time to visit the people who matter to you. I don't want to sound negative, but the 4 years I've been away, a lot had changed. I know it doesn't really seem like much time compared to the grand scheme of things, but it sure can make a huge difference, especially for the elder population. To them, 5 years or less may be all they have left. Although the idea that one day your loved ones won't be with you anymore, and getting older is sad to think about, it is the process of life, and it's something every person will deal with one day. It's inevitable, but the only thing we can do about it is simply pay our loved ones a visit because it could make their day. You never know when it will be the last time you'll see them.
Hello, my name is Audrey. I just turned 8. Nick, stop recording. This is a recording.
Oh, and I just wanted to mention, on the day of my dad's birthday, I officially got accepted into Columbia University to specialize in periodontics. And I've never seen my dad jump as much as he did when he heard the news. It's these little moments in life, these happy memories that will never be forgotten. His reaction was priceless, and it's something I'll remember forever.
Nasdaq, Daddy, Nick, Alec, Nina, and Audrey, and Amy, and Mommy.